are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. You're now locked into the Life of Produk Podcast, episode 115. Listen, man, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year, man. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know I've been in a short hiatus, and a lot of y'all been hitting me up. You're like, when the next episode dropping? When is it dropping? Life been lifing, first of all. Not in a bad way. Sometimes life can be lifing in a bad way, but sometimes it's lifing in a good way, and it has been lifing in a good way. So just to bring y'all up to speed with everything that's been going on with me, I went back to school. Yeah, I went back to school, bro. Now, I think I told you I went to college fresh out of high school. I didn't finish. And it's a little embarrassing to admit it, but I could not do algebra. So let's reverse trajectory this. Let's backlog everything. So first of all, years ago, I was one class from graduating. And I was having a lot of issues with algebra. Now, this was before really like online school was like a thing. You had to actually physically go. And I was doing that, but then I became a father. My oldest son was born. So with that being said, trying to, work and do that, it just wasn't working for me. I went full-fledged into the work field full-time, but I was making a lot of money. I was making bread. I was cable contracting. Moved back to Brooklyn, started working for the airline industry. So, in the back of my mind, it was always there. I always wanted to go back to school. I just did not have the time at all. Fast forward, COVID was a thing. Come back down south or whatever. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I want to go back to school. Now, mind you, I only needed one class. One class. All I needed was one class at that time. Literally only one class. And then boom, 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 the curriculum changes, right? So they're like, oh, you don't need one class now, you need four. My whole heart dropped. I was like, nah, man. So it went from me needing one class to needing four classes. I'm like, okay, so 3 years ago, I took two classes. I said, let me knock two out, then I'll knock another two out. Well, one of those classes was algebra again. I failed it again, but I passed the other class. Now that puts me at three classes now, two classes and algebra. So I let some time go by. I'm just working on podcasting, things like that, running my business. And it was really heavy on my heart for a while. And I was like, back in my mind, I'm like, I need to go back to school. The thing about me, I don't like starting stuff and not finishing it. I don't like setting a goal for myself and not hitting that goal. That is something I do not like doing. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and let me get back to it and let me just rock out. This is how God works. First of all, God is good. God is good. And I'm telling y'all this because we are not on our own time. We don't even measure time the right way, in my opinion. We are all on God's timing. Everything happens when he knows it's supposed to happen, when he plans for it to happen, right? So I go to the school and I go to the office, right? And I tell a lady, I have 3 classes left. I really want to get my degree. I was like, I know I need algebra, but I don't know the other 2 classes. So she looks at my she prints out my transcript, right? And this I can't make this up. She prints out the transcript and she goes, "Oh, you took statistics 1 and 2." I'm like, "Yeah," and I believe I got like an A and a B in those classes, 1A, 1B. And she's like, "Well, I think if you took statistics 1 and 2, you don't need algebra." I was like, "Word? Can we confirm that?" Yo, so she goes, this is what she said. She says, listen, she said, I'm pretty sure that's the answer to it. But she said, I want you to talk to such and such. Her office is down the hall. She'll be done with her meeting in 5 minutes, right? I said, bet. I'm waiting. I'm on my phone, thumbing through stuff, checking emails real quick. It was a very long 5 minutes. The 5 minutes went by it took like an hour almost. It was what it felt like for 5 minutes, right? So I go in this lady's office. I got a hoodie on. My fingers are crossed in my hoodie. And it took this lady about 2 minutes to compare everything, go through it. She says, well, Mr. White, she was right. You don't need algebra. You only need 2 classes. You need English and you need an elective. It was lit. It was lit after that. I mean, it was stupid lit. I said, sign me up today, right now. And that's exactly what she did. And I paid a lot of money for that class. Now, was it easy? No. I've been totally locked in. The last 30 days of life, there has been no partying. There's been no podcast. I've been totally locked in because the class that I took, this elective, they had an elective available at the end of the semester for 1 month. They took one whole semester and put it into 30 days. And it's been like the longest 30 days of my life. I ain't gonna lie to you. It wasn't easy. It was not easy. Nothing worth it is easy. And this is a lesson that I have been retaught constantly from childhood through adulthood. It was a very hard class. I had to take an elective. I took a music appreciation class because I didn't want to have to take 2 classes at once come in January. And it was it was a music appreciation class that went from the Middle Ages all the way to now. The book was 400 and something pages. Right under 500 pages was this book. So I read this whole book within 30 days and been doing tests, quizzes, everything. Hard. End up getting an A in the class, which I didn't think I was going to get that. I was praying I was just going to pass the class because I had kind of fell behind. And I fell behind due to my work schedule and things like that. But the teacher, fortunately, was very understanding. Shouts out to her, man. She was very understanding. And I had emailed her one day, and I was like, you know what? It's a shot in the dark. Let me try it. And I emailed it, and I said, I said, hello. I fell behind, and I due to my work schedule, everything. I was working a lot. Now, mind you, I've been working a lot the last 30 days. So between work, parenthood, and school, it's been difficult. I'm surprised I ain't an alcoholic off of this. You know what I'm saying? So I emailed and I said, look, boom. I fell behind. She said, I'm not going to take off no points. Just make it up. And I had till this day. Dog. Let me tell you something, man. So for New Year's, first of all, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. My Christmas was chill. It was cool. I spent it with the kids. For New Year's, I took my daughter out. We did like a daddy-daughter dinner early that evening, like around 7 o'clock or whatever. The rest of that night, I was in my school book. That's what I did. That literally, I forgot it was New Year's. I looked at my clock at one time. It was 11:30. I looked back at it. It was like 12:30, 12:45. And I'm like, why am I getting Happy New Year text? Oh, yeah, that's right. So is it safe to say I studied from one year to the other? I think I could do that. Soulja Boy ain't do that. I'm the first person to do that, brother. You know what I mean? Bang, bang. But that's how I spent my New Year's because I knew I came a very far way and I was not going back. I spent right under $500 for that class. The class was $347 and the class was $347 and the book was $126. Yeah, so yeah, I was not redoing that because like I said, there was no way I wanted to do two classes at once and be working. But this brings me back to my early years of college. When I first went to college, there was a dread that went to school with us, and he was 40 years old. And I remember this man was 40 years old, looked great for his age, by the way. He was a pastor, and he was 40 years old, and he would kick it with us in the student center. And I remember somebody asked him one day, they was like, yo, man, why are you going back to school at 40 years old? We're fresh out of high school. Kids are still ignorant. You're still a kid, even though you're in college at whatever. You're still a kid. So somebody asked him that. He said, yo, listen, he said, for the last 22 years of his life, he was working at the same company. He had a great job, a high-paying job, that provided him a great life, but the job closed. I believe they either closed or they outsourced or something like that. They just they closed up, right? Job closed up. And the man said, he knew right then and there for him to get further in life, for him to live up to his full potential as a man, as a father, as a husband, he needed to go back to school and get re-educated so he can go into the next phase of his life. Don't ever be ashamed to start over. Don't ever be ashamed to start over. Starting over is not always a bad thing. Sometimes starting over is great because now the life experiences that you have at the age you're at, you won't mess it up. If you would have got certain opportunities at younger, 18, 19, 20, 25 years old, you might have messed it up. So if you're 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 years old, you could be 50 years old just getting the opportunity. You are going to take care of that opportunity. It's going to mean a lot more to you than it would have 20, 30 years before that. You will not mess it up. And I look, man, we don't all messed up opportunities. It takes a strong individual to admit when they messed up opportunities because not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody has the willpower to do that. Not everybody can control their ego to admit that they messed up opportunity. And I'm not saying he messed up an opportunity. It was circumstances. His job closed. When we work a job, when we don't control our well-being as far like financially, when we don't control that, we are subject to anything to happen to us. Anything can happen. You can be laid off, you can be fired, you can be rehired, fired again. They can transfer you against your will and give you an ultimatum, either work here at this location or don't work at all. That has happened to me. So, in these situations, sometimes you got to play hardball. You know what I'm saying? However the cards drop, you got to play that hand. G is the Boy Product, Life of Produk Podcast. We will be right back with the second part of the show. Gia, what up, man? It's the Boy Product. You're now locked into the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 115 is the second part of the show. It is 2024. I hope you guys had a happy, safe New Year's, man. I hope you guys spent it with your families. I hope your Christmas was good. There's a lot of people that didn't make it. out of 2023. Rest in peace to y'all. And I told y'all this before. It is our duty. We have to do our due diligence and really rep for our family members, our friends, whether it's coworkers, people that are no longer here, because they're looking down on us and they want us to do right. So we not even just do right by them, but we got to do right in general, because if we are blessed to still have life in our body, that's what we're here for. Yeah, episode 115. 2024 is starting out like a very ghetto reality show. I feel like 2024 is picked up by the Zeus Network. You know what I'm saying? Can I say that? I'm gonna say it anyway. Yo, we got some stuff to talk about, man. Homie that jumped over the thing in court and attacked the judge, he was wilding for that. So his charges, I was reading, apparently the judge denied him probation. He had a battery and assault charge, something that had to do with battery. He hurt somebody, whatever. I don't know if he was already in jail when she went back before the judge, or he was just getting sentenced, but she denied him. And your man looked like he was on a WWE Battle Royal match. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Ross is in the background. Oh my God. Like your man was jumping up the top ropes. You know what I'm saying? Boy was wilding for that. They probably put him under the judge. You know what I'm saying? But okay, I just want to say this, right? Don't get mad at me for saying I don't condone violence on women at all. I don't condone violence on women. But raise your raise your hands if you've ever been in court. If you've ever been in court and you wanted to hop over that thing and attack the judge too. I'm just saying, I got to hit you with the Drewski. I'm just saying, I don't condone violence on women, but I've been in court a couple times where I wanted to rock the judge myself. Can I say that? I'm 40 years old. I'm gonna say how I feel. I don't think he should have did it. I think boy should have thought about that before he did it, and I think he put himself in an even worse predicament. But it looked like he woke up and said, "Today's a day," and I feel like that's gonna be the energy of 2024, because 2024 is starting out crazy, man. We got to talk about the homie Katt Williams, man. First of all, shouts out to Katt Williams. I love Katt Williams as a comedian. He's a funny dude. He's one of my favorite comedians. I think his the one that he did, I think it was called American Pimp or American something. That's one of my favorite stand-ups ever. That one, Eddie Murphy's Raw, old one that Richard Pryor did, I forgot the name of it. Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker, and the one Dave Chappelle did where he had like the blue button up on. You know what I'm saying? There was a Kevin Hart one, and I forgot the name of it. Those are my favorite stand-ups ever. You know what I'm saying? So I love Katt Williams. Katt Williams has been that dude for years, and he's been kicking realism for years. Looking at the Katt Williams situation, all I can say is this: you can only poke the bear but so much. You can only poke the bear before that bear is gonna bite you. And he seems like he's been poked a lot. You know what I'm saying? Pause. He seems like he's been put in different positions behind the scenes of people possibly saying things about him, saying things to him, assuming things about him, disregarding his talent and pushing him to the outside and things like that. It's kind of look at it from a hip hop perspective, right? In hip hop, so Katt Williams made a statement about Cedric Entertainer not writing his own jokes, right? In hip hop, we discredit a lot of rappers. Well, not anymore. Y'all weird nowadays. But in hip hop, we discredit a lot of rappers who don't write their own rhymes. It's kind of like you living somebody else's life. R&B, you could do that. Gospel, you could do that. Country music, you could do that. Hip hop has like this unwritten rule, or has had this unwritten rule that seems to be breaking, that you cannot have a ghostwriter. So he was alleging that Cedric not only had a ghostwriter, Cedric stole jokes from him. And from the research I'm doing, apparently that's kind of true. Shouts out to Cedric the Entertainer. I love Cedric the Entertainer. Bernie Mac was one of my favorite comedians too. Let me throw that in there. Rest in peace to him. I loved the Kings of Comedy movie. That was amazing. But I hope Katt Williams can find a moment of clarity. I hope he gets an apology for the things that he's saying that are true. And I believe a lot of it is true. Now, I do believe he is being petty. But who doesn't get petty when they're mad? Everybody gets petty when I get mad. Oh man, if you force that door to open and petty jumps out, oh, it's gonna get bad. I'm not letting up. I'm not taking my foot off the gas. It ain't happening. I refuse to. But I think he had a right to do that in every form of fashion. I think he did. But I also feel that some of the stuff that he said, I feel like it was reiterated due to the fact that he was angry. See, when we get angry, we tend to say whatever, and we'll say it however. Shannon Sharpe, man, shouts out to Uncle Shayshay, man. Yo, he needs an award for that episode. He needs an award for his show. He needs an award for that episode. I don't see another sportscaster or show like his. I don't see anybody else outdoing him this year. I don't, and I'm cool. I know we only 7 days into January. I don't see it happening. I only see it getting better. And I'm glad he went on that platform to do it, because I feel like if anybody can help Katt Williams keep his composure and keep their composure as a host, Shannon Sharpe can do that. Was it? Let me ask y'all a question, right? Y'all ain't find it weird where he kept like making country bumpkin jokes and Shannon Sharpe is from the South. I was like stopping it and rewinding it just to look at like Shannon Sharpe's his facial expressions, and he looked like he kind of wanted to hit Katt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of wanted to stuff him. You know what I'm saying? But there was a lot of symbolism also in that interview. There was a check the symbolism. First of all, look at the way Katt Williams was dressed. A lot of people don't understand something. People that are genius level, people that are smart, they tend to throw little Easter eggs out there for people to pick up on. And I don't know if y'all picked up on it, but he threw some Easter eggs out there from the way he was dressed, him wearing black and coordinated with the other colors that he had on, to the way his hair was, in a hat, to the chain that he had on. The chain, the medallion said woke. And I've seen pictures of people comparing it to other stuff, and there's symbolism allegedly in that. Write something, RIGHT. By him wearing that woke medallion, that says a lot, because he made claims of Illuminati. He made all kind of claims. Like Katt Williams he made more gay allegations upon Diddy. He came out here and he let the floodgates open. He was not playing. These people have really made Katt Williams mad. They have made this dude mad. I've been the bear before that had to bite everybody, so I totally get it. I do hope that Katt Williams is safe after this. I hope he's safe after this, and I hope nothing happens to that man. I do hope that everybody he made the claims on get to speak their part. Kevin Hart's already been saying how he's saying. I don't know about everybody else. Man, and I feel bad for him for the things. I kind of feel bad for Steve Harvey a little bit. I like Steve Harvey. I've seen people criticize Steve Harvey a lot. I seen a clip that just been going around when, he did an interview with Monique, and people were saying, oh, integrity does not always pay the bills. It doesn't. I put my integrity first for a lot of stuff. I've had to hold my integrity back and not speak how I felt in order to keep the money coming in, whether it was at work, whether it was at a business deal. I had a situation over the summer that just passed, doing business with some people, to put my integrity aside for money, and I didn't do it. I refused to do it. That was not happening. It's not a pick and choose thing. It's not playing your position, but knowing. You have to know when to do it. You have to know when not to do it. And I back to Monique's situation. She was going through some things for some stuff that she said, but was she wrong for saying it? Was she wrong for feeling how she felt? Was Steve Harvey wrong for saying how he couldn't fully back her and other people couldn't fully back her? Steve Harvey had a point. That man's family is living great. There are generations after him that are going to live great. His kids, his grandkids, his great-grandkids, off that Harvey name and the legacy that he's built and the connections and the branding, they're going to live good. Don't mess that up, brother. Don't mess that up. And I feel bad for saying that, because I feel like as black people, we should be in a position now where none of that matters. We should be able to support each other openly, say how we feel, and do whatever we want. We should be able to do whatever we want. It shouldn't have to be an integrity issue, but that's where we're at, because look, man, we know what it is. We know where those checks come from sometimes, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Get those checks. But at the end of the day, we are not fully at the top of that mountain as black people to where we can operate how we want as a collective. You have people operating how they want. You got Jay-Z doing this thing. You got Diddy doing this thing. You got Dre doing this thing. Tyler Perry doing this thing. But as a whole, we are not there yet. So I am not mad at Steve Harvey. G is the boy product. Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 115. I missed you guys. It is episode 20. It is 2024. It's episode 24. It is 2024. I'm out, baby. G.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.